Hey everybody, Adhpa here. So, just after the new year, today's the 6th of January, and I wanted to come on and do something appropriate for the new year. I like to use tarot to develop my own intuition and understanding, not necessarily for divination. That's a area of tarot that I think is best used personally, perhaps. Doesn't necessarily translate well for long-term projections. Anyway, so I thought instead I'd do a look back on the year that just passed and see what the cards have to say about the energy of the year that we just came through. And then I will pull one card as a guidance card for the energy on today. But I think we'll start with a reading this time, a little bit different than usual, and see what the cards have to say, and then we'll talk about it. So we're going to put on a different way of looking at things and have a look at the year that just passed from a new perspective. We'll mesh the circle with the square a little bit, pull some intuition, and see what the cards have to say about the year that has just passed. All right, hold tight and I'll bring you down. All right, so I'm going to pull from the Aquarian Tarot today, and then we'll have a sacred card, sacred medicine card at the end of the reading. Alrighty, let me get the card set up here, and then we'll get started. Okay, we'll just have a quick shuffle here. I've already shuffled them quite a bit, but we'll shuffle them a couple more times, and then I'm going to start to meditate in on what the cards can reveal about the year that has passed. Pardon me a second. Sorry, had a little seasonal cough come through there. Okay. So I'm going to focus in on what we should learn from the year that just passed for the collective, for the light workers, for people that are in touch with their energy, working in community with the life systems that is Earth. Got a card that came up, wants to be on top already. When that happens for me, I'm usually done shuffling, but I'll usually do a cut where the cards want to be cut. Oh, my. Yes, well, it is the end of the year, so it's appropriate to look back. This is a beginning of something new. So we are seeing the end of something. We did see the end of the year. Challenges. The Knight of Cups in the challenge card. Cups, again, are spirit. Knights are actions. So those are actions of the spirit. So there were lots of challenging actions that people did out of their emotions, their beliefs. So the year was challenged in that way. Some people call this the false knight, when the knight is on its side like this. You know, there's a lot of people looking for a knight in silver in shining armor to come in and rescue them, but instead there's a deception that comes. So I think we see that some of the challenges in transitions and endings and transformation come from, you know, maybe call it the false prophet card at the ground of it, which is what they have control over. What we had control over during the year was the decisions that we made. I think that's pretty clear. Our thinking and what we allowed our thinking to bring us to. What we're bringing forward, or what we brought forward into last year from the past. Hanged Man, a sense of things being suspended. And I think from COVID and everything that's happened with political events and all the changes, I think, you know, the world as we knew it was suspended, and people were looking at things, reflecting on that in new ways. So I think that's very appropriate. Thing that we couldn't control, Queen of Rods. Again, royalties are actors. So the Queen of Rods is the Queen of Passions, and it references the internal passions. So the directing of the internal passions, as opposed to the king, which would be the one who directs the external passions, internal messaging. So what we could not control last year was how people took the messages in and then used them to fire up their own paths, whatever it was. The outcome likely from last year, Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of the Apprentice. That's a little bit on the nose, considering we've elected the Apprentice as president going into this year. But it also means it's a well-being. The pentacles, or as I call them, the stones, are an earth sign, and they're about well-being, physical well-being, material well-being. So this indicates that what's likely to come out of all of this is there's going to have to be a lot of work, a lot of mastering our well-being, a lot of individuals having to put in the work to make things better. Where we are in relation to this, or how we see ourselves, this is a card of going to calmer waters. You know, it's also fleeing the old beliefs, or fleeing some beliefs and taking some with us, but moving to a place where we think they'll serve us better. You know, it's also being ferried, being carried. There's a sense of being helped for that. So where we see ourselves in relation to the last year is perhaps moving towards something better. That there's a sense of wanting to move away from last year, not give everything up in terms of what we think and believe, but moving for sure on to something. The environment in which we sit, however, is the Moon, Higher Arcana card. There's quite a lot of meaning in that context, in that position. It's the howling at the moon. It's a lunacy. There's an environment of things not being clear. Things look different in the moonlight. You might see a shadow in the moonlight and think it's one thing and it's something else. But the shadow it casts in the darkness and the movement makes your brain interpret it as something else. So there's a shadowiness to the moon. There's a lack of clarity. There's a lunacy in the environment from last year. You know, so that we can see more clearly as we look back on it. Hopes and fears. Oh, that's very interesting. Another higher arcana, you know, and this is about people wanting an end to toxicity and new beginnings and a new start. And I think there's a lot of hope invested in this year that it will bring ends to things that have harmed people for a long time, and end also the attempt to destroy things that help people and have helped people for a long time. Some people are frightened about what kind of changes might be brought in the new year. Will they end their ability to exist and sustain themselves in the world? This is a very important question to most people. And the outcome from last year, the outcome card, another higher arcana, very interesting, the Magician. You know, and there was manipulation. There were things that happened that no one thought could happen. Things that interrupted entirely the normal way of doing things. You know, great manipulation. So if nothing was what it appeared to be. Everything was in the magician's illusion. It was an illusion. And whatever was really going on wasn't revealed. So maybe as an outcome, this tells us that there is something going to be revealed. The magician was at play at the end of the year. A great manipulation. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Rods. And that generally means a new passion, a new message. There's going to be a new growth. You know, spring will come. Normally in a card like this, in a reading like this, when I have that kind of a card at the end, I want a little clarification, and you may too. So I pull a little spread. I do a 5-card spread beyond it to see what comes up. So let's have a look and see. The Magician, bringing forth King of Swords. This is the one who directs the legal. Bringing forth an Ace of Swords. That's a sword of truth. So you could think of this, the magician. What is the magician manipulating? The one who directs legal, maybe, like our Department of Justice, or the lawmakers, the ones who direct it, the presidency, the executive, and the truth. Oh, Page of Cups. You know, that's a creativity. That's someone who's opening the doorway to spirit, which can be creative. It can also be easily susceptible to delusion. But, you know, there's some new, young, creative person, perhaps. And then the Ace of Pentacles. And this represents a beginning of well-being. It can be an offer of well-being. It can be a sudden rise in well-being. It can also be in reverse, something else, but in this case I would see it as the beginning of well-being. So we have a young creative person expressing some sort of offer. And then Page of Rods. And that's opening the pathways to passion, to internal growth, passion, new, you know. So it looks like whatever we're coming out of the year with the Magician has something to do with government, legal, executive action, exposing some truth, or on a new track of truth. There's some young creative person bringing forth an offer of material well-being that gets spread as a message to fire people up. So I would say there's some sort of manipulation going on here to it's going to end up with some sort of message. You know, this could be a new law, a creative law that's sent out, people think is going to create new well-being for them, but it could set them back to zero. So I'm not so sure. We'll have to see. But something that came out of last year is creating this. Of course, we have a new executive, but there will be some truth revealed about that, or he will set truth back to a beginning, like starting resetting things and then bringing in some young creative, perhaps a bit immature, maybe not very effective ideas and offers and messaging on that. So, well, we'll have to see about that. We'll have to see about that. Everybody look at it. Give your some thought on your own about what you think these cards might mean in relative to the manipulation of last year. And perhaps it's just simply that legal was manipulated, the truth was obscured by all these creative efforts and manipulations that told people he was, there was some new way coming from them and sent out a message that got them all to follow that message. It could be as simple as that. All right, hold on. I'll bring you up and then we'll pull a card from the Sacred Medicine. Okay, well, that was interesting. Let's do a little shuffle of the Sacred Medicine cards, and I'll pull you out a card for that. And we'll see what the cards are guiding us to carry into the week ahead, as we're in the second week of January now of 2025. Looks like we've got maybe some stuff to clean up from last year. We'll see. Maybe next week we'll do a little reading on like the week ahead or something, and try a small energy read for what's coming, as opposed to like try to divine events of any sort. Okay, I'll pull us a card here and see what the deck is wanting out. So I'll shuffle those cards. What is it going to kick out? I love it when the cards kick something out. Here, you want to see me? Shuffle them over here so you can see it if it jumps out. Which one jumps out? That one that's trying to jump out at the top here. There it is. Oh. Sacred space. Support. Yeah, I think it's going to be really important in this year ahead to define your sacred space. And have it to go to be a place where when you go into that space, you know that's your sacred area, and it helps to tune your mind in to the energies and open up your intuition. A lot of people will have an altar. You see here we have a drum, and we have some sage, and we have the feather, and then we have some other things from the earth, the rose petals, some things that have been gifted to you in your path from the earth. So your altar can be really, really simple, but it's more important that you make the space, that you bring in the aromas and the sounds and the clearing smoke or whatever you're using to clear the energy, your frequency clearer. Looks like there might be a crystal up in there on that card, hard to say. But, you make a space to clear your energy and ground in. I think the week is going to be a good week for building that space. When I use my space is in my bedroom, and it's my altar space. I don't do a lot of other things up in there except resting and meditating. And when I go in there, I know it's a healing space. So if I really want to call in a healing energy and sit with it and work with those ancestors, I'll go into that space in front of my altar and I'll rest and I'll call in that energy knowing that's a place, that's a healing place. And I find that helps with a lot of things. It helps to reset your body's own immune system and stuff to help you fight things better. And I've had other help that way that's been more dramatic, directly from ancestor beings of some sort. So that altar space, that sacred space where you keep that space free of certain negative energies, you keep it clear, you keep it a place that, you know, when you reach out and you touch that place, you immediately find yourself grounding into a sacredness, to a centeredness. So I think that's a lovely card. You know, stand up for yourself. That's me standing up for myself when I was really quite a youngster, and still standing up for my own walk in life. Stand up for yourself. Maybe not on the furniture like that, although, was that barefoot or not? To be fair, might not have been. So we can all learn lessons, even if we're standing tall. All right. Love you guys. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know, give me a comment, tell me what you'd like to see me read on, if you want me to read on something, and we'll see how the outcomes compare to the reality. I won't make any assertions that my interpretations are fact of any sort, but we could have some fun looking at some stuff if you're interested. Just let me know what you'd like to see. And of course, if you want a more intense kind of personal reading of some sort, yeah, send me an email. We'll have a chat. Possibly that's something that I can help you to get. All right. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great week. See ya.